Welcome back, everybody, to G Bear Homesteading the Desert. Here we are on November 18th, 2018. That's 11/18/18. All right, so you're looking at my indoor garden here that I set up on my big folding table, and I'll be getting some more plants going in here. I've got the chard in there and the lettuce in there, and I got the spinach back there, and I got the onion, the green onion, in there. And of course, that's my other little Spanish onion I had grown from the cut off roots of an onion that I had before. And I've got a couple more of those that I'm going to have with dinner tonight, and I'll put the roots down in some water and get them sprouted, and then I'll add them to that same pot. All right, what I wanted to show you here, these bags are because I went into town today and did my grocery shopping, because this is Thanksgiving week and I don't want to have anything to do with being near those stores in the next bunch of days. So there's some discussion on my latest videos about using felt tip to write on things and fading and things like that. Well, I don't mind it fading. I can always rewrite it. I always keep a felt tip handy, or 2 or 3 or 4. I've always got them around somewhere. Being a retired contractor, we use a lot of felt tips. Anyway, this is one of the bags that I had the last radishes and beets and that stuff all growing that are all planted outside right now. And I want to show you one of the main reasons why I like using a felt tip, because here's the other bag that had the other vegetables in it, the onions and the spinach and that stuff. And you can see it's already cleaned off. And to clean it off, all it takes is a paper towel and some rubbing alcohol. You just get the paper towel wet with some rubbing alcohol, and as you can see, this stuff will come right off of the paper or off the plastic. So you can keep reusing these over and over again and just rewrite what you replant in there. And I'm going to be planting 5 different types of tomatoes in this first one a little bit later tonight, getting those started indoors here, because they're not going to grow outdoors. They're not going to make it through the winter on the cold nights, but I can do them indoors here, and if need be, I'll put another shelf up higher there and put some more plants on top of there, and I'll grow my little indoor herb and vegetable garden inside for the winter until I get my greenhouse done. All right, so that was one of the things I wanted to cover. Now we're going to go outside and take a walk down to the garden house, and we're going to do a little bit of pH testing. And I just got back from there because I filled up a styrofoam cup with tap water. I filled one up with my filtered water, and then I've got another one in here that's just being anchored down by one of those tomatoes that fell off my frozen plant, and I got irrigation written on there, and that's going to come right out of that barrel right there. We're going to get that filled up right now, and you see I have my test kit ready here, and we'll get that tomato out of there. And let's go out here and get some of this water. I hope that the wind doesn't blow it away while I'm filling it. That's more than I'll ever use, but I'm also going to use that to clean off the tester when I'm ready to switch to the pine needle water, which is down here. I'm going to use the same irrigation cup, and I'm just going to dump that water onto one of the plants after I rinse out the little tester, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get some water into the tester. Now, on these testers, there's a fill line. You can see it says right there at the top, fill line. So you want it to be there, and that's about right there. And then with the phenol red, let me do this. Okay, with the phenol red, you use 1 drop in that water. Okay, and then you put the cap on and invert it a few times, and then you're going to get your color. And normally they want you to wait a couple of minutes to let it settle in. But you can see right now, let me get in a way where you can see this. That's all the way up here at the 8.0 mark. And that's just Tustin municipal water. That just came out of a garden hose at a friend's house. So that's got a pH of 8.0, which is very alkaline. And that's a little bit too high for plants to really love it. I mean, it'll still water plants that are hardy, but most plants don't like pH that high. So now that I've done that, let me rinse this out and get the test stuff out of there. All right. And now we're going to go down. I'm going to dump this. That's still the irrigation. And I'm going to go down here and I'm going to get some of the water out of my pine needle tea. And we'll get some of that into here. Okay. And there we go. And we're going to take 1 drop of red phenol. Oh, good, it didn't spill. And we'll put the cap on and invert it a few times. Well, that's definitely not pink and red like the other one. That's all the way down to 7.2. Okay, so actually, that's all the way down to 6.8. So that's actually perfect pH water right now for plants. All right, so we'll dump that off. And we're going to clean it with a little bit of tap water here. Notice I'm not wasting any water. It's going on the plants. All right, except for what I spill. Okay, let's see what my tap water reads. I haven't tested this yet, and I'm curious because this is the water straight from my water tank that the delivery guy brings. Okay. Wow, that's high pH also. That's way up at the 8-point mark. So most likely he's pulling municipal water out of his town. And that's the pH that I would guess that most municipalities are providing to the people is high pH or highly alkaline water. Okay, let's take that and rinse it down. All right. And lastly, we're going to try my filtered water. This runs through a triple carbon block filter. Okay. And another drop of phenol. And we can close that up so I don't knock it over and lose it all. And these are just swimming pool jacuzzi test kits. You can get these at almost any hardware store, big box store, or pool supply or anything like that. All right, so even my filtered water is way up alkaline at 8.0 or higher, but it's reading 8.0 on that colorant right there. So that's good for drinking. That's okay for drinking, but it's not good for plants. So if you've been trying to grow vegetables and house plants, and you've been using your tap water, or even your filtered water for doing that, for watering those plants, and the plants aren't really doing that well, then we've figured out what that is. So you need to adjust it. So what I would do is, like I did here, find somebody who's got a pine tree. And you can just see them all over the road. Every time the wind blows, there's thousands of pine needles on the ground around any pine tree, and nobody's going to complain about you cleaning them up. So go over and get a big bag full of them, put them to one side, fill a bucket with your water. And remember that water started off at 8.0, but now it's down to 6.8, which is really good water for plants. 6.5 would be better, or even 5.5 to 6.5. But 6.8 is good water for your plants. So that's the water I'll be using to water my plants from now on. And I got some more pine needles from another friend's house when I was down in the OC last week. And I've got those sitting in a bucket over by my washing machine. And I will get another batch of pine needle tea going. So I'm going to use this water from now on as watering for all of this. All right, that's about it. As you can see, everything's doing great here. And my radishes here are broken soil already. And they've only been in that pot one day. I did somehow spring a leak in here in my water garden, and I've got to find out where it is, but I can't do it now that everything's growing. So what I do is I shut the valve off at the barrel, and then once a day I look at the water level. If it's low, I crank that open and let a little bit more water into it, and that keeps my water from getting wasted out. I don't have to have the gutter full of water. I only need to have maybe 3/4 of an inch in the bottom, and the grow baskets will be sitting in the water. So that's fine. For right now, I'll get by with what I'm doing here, and then in the springtime, I'll have to pull it open. And what I think it was that Christie's hot blue glue right there was a little on the old side. It hadn't completely gelled yet, but it was getting heavy, it was gonna congeal. So I shouldn't have used that. I should have gone and got a brand new can, but I did use it, and I'm kicking myself in the butt for it. So remember, it's not worth your time to mess with the stuff. Just get a brand new can of it and use the new stuff. All right, so that's where we stand out here. That's where we stand indoors. And you can see everything else is doing fine here. We got weather coming. They're talking about possibility of rain on Wednesday, and on going through the night on Wednesday and into Thursday. Some areas will only get 1/10 of an inch. Other areas will get up to 1 inch, maybe even more, they said. So I'm looking forward to the maybe even more part of it. It would be nice to catch a bunch of rainwater here, because that's perfect pH for these plants. G-Bear, telling you one more time, asking you, please give me a like down below if you like my videos, and don't forget to share them with your friends. Other people need to watch this too. Well, they don't need to watch it, but they should watch it. Well, let's just say people that don't watch my channel. All right, well, we won't go there. G-Bear signing off.